Hey kiddies, it's Triple Future Tuesday once again, and this week we try to figure out which was the worst movie of 2017. There were a lot of contenders, and I feel bad for everybody that didn't make the list. You went out there and you made just a terrible, terrible movie, but it didn't really rise to the level of worst movie of 2017, let alone these three. These could be the worst movies ever. I mean, they're just balls to the wall bad. And for no reason. All of these had, interesting premises to start with, and or decent enough actors and everything in there, except for the middle movie. But no, just nothing connected, nothing worked, and they're just awful. So of course I own two of them. I mean, that's just a given. But we're going to go in order of decreasing quality of the filmmaking, where it's like not just the content, but the actual art of making a film, of telling a story. It just goes worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as we go along. So our menu is going to include Justice League, The Bye-Bye Man, and Transformers 5, The Last Knight. Yep, finally did it. Finally got around to it. Finally watched the Justice League movie. A movie that I have railed against to everybody with ears, but had never actually seen up until a week ago. And you know what the problem about always being right is? You're always right. Justice League is a terrible movie. It's like, actually, to understand, everything I'm about to say is just in general, in terms of general film. You have to put to the side for a second the phrase, and the Justice League is in this movie. It is uninteresting to watch. The characters are flat. Every choice Zack Snyder made seemed to be wrong. And at the end of the day, like, the movie ends before you know it, and then you're just like, wait, that was it? That was it. Oh, okay. And now what? We're gonna do this again? We're all buddies in a way that we haven't earned even for a second. It's sort of a fun inverse of the Avengers movie in terms of everything coming together to crescendo beautifully at the end of the Avengers. It's just sort of like, and now we'll do another one at some point, maybe, if nobody's busy. But okay, highlights include making Batman funny, which, don't get me wrong, Batman can be funny, but making him like one rung above the comic relief character in terms of how many jokes he tells is interesting. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. You at least heard the criticism that Batman v Superman: Fallen Dawn of Justice was too dark, and in particular, Batman was too dark. But he's just saying things that are just that Batman probably. I mean, I guess he could say them. It's just I don't get it. Not giving Wonder Woman more of the leadership role was probably a mistake. That could have been a good thing. Introducing Cyborg in this movie with, God, his first 10 minutes are just nothing but exposition to a character that he's probably had this conversation at least 12 times with, and you still don't know who he is or what he's about or what he's doing. Yeah, starting with Dead Superman. Brilliant. Still love that choice from Batman v Superman: Fallen Dawn of Justice, because, it wasn't enough to do The Dark Knight Returns in a movie. That wasn't enough of a story. He also had to do introduce Wonder Woman and do the death of Superman. So that was great. So we have to, bring Superman back, and they literally Frankenstein him back to life, and it is as creepy as Frankenstein is, which is, a valid way to go about it, but not necessarily the tone you want to invoke in your Justice League movie, because it makes all the other members of the Justice League seem creepy as they are literally digging up the grave of Clark Kent. And that's after they have a 5 to 10 minute conversation about how, we just kind of suck on our own. We had a big fight. We, broke even, but we need Superman, or else what's the point of us? The superhero team that has Batman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash on it. There's only one shirtless Jason Momoa scene, which I you want to play to your strengths. Jason Momoa without a shirt on. That's a win right there every time you do that. But nope. I do give them credit for not writing any dialogue for Jason Momoa, as I could tell. I think it just they went with the janitor from Scrubs route, which is Jason says something awesome, because it really is just, it's not Aquaman. It's just Jason Momoa with swimming powers, which is kind of good. I mean, I don't know if the trailer for Aquaman doesn't look atrociously bad. Maybe I'll watch it on TV at some point. Superman. It just, he has abs drawn on his costume for some reason. I don't get it. Like, is Henry Cavill not in good enough shape? Fun fact: once you realize that they had to do reshoots and digitally edit out Henry Cavill's mustache, you will see every scene where his mouth looks weird. Then Steppenwolf is really just a nothing character, which is a waste of Kieran Hines. Did not think it was a great, like his entrance. There's just so much Avengers in this movie, but done poorly. Like, it's a bad imitation of the Avengers half the time, and his whole entrance scene is Loki's entrance in the Shield research area. It's the exact same scene, but this time with Amazons who are now half naked because chicks. Is there anything I'm missing? Anything else? Oh yeah, the Flash is in it. Yeah, I'm going to defer to my Flash expert. Flash expert, what did you think about the Flash in the film?
Why, yes, Wally. It is far-fetched to the point of insulting to think that the same lab accident that turned Barry into the Flash could happen again in the exact same way and give somebody the exact same powers. The Silver Age. Hi, my name's Tom. I've been reading Flash comics since 1990, after the television show starring John Wesley Shipp and Amanda Pays made me a lifelong fan of the Scarlet Speedster, the Sultan of Speed, the Crimson Comet, you know, the Flash. I've been a fan of just about every version of the comic book. I've loved the cartoons, the new TV show, as you can guess. I'm a big fan. But you know what's always been missing? We've never seen him on the big screen. Like, sure, he's popped up in the Lego movie, but, you know, as enjoyable as they are, they don't really count for our purposes. So, what did I think when I finally got to see him in a big action epic Justice League movie? Well, now I understand Yobard Thawne a little bit more. Why? Why Ezra Miller? I mean, I don't think he's like a terrible human being or anything, but it's like the Flash is supposed to be the down-to-earth guy. Everybody else is crazy and fanciful, and, you know, I'm an alien, or I'm rich beyond wildest dreams, I'm a goddess, I'm a half robot. The Flash has his feet on the ground, and they made him this goofy, stupid character that's always, you know, I don't connect with people, I don't understand everything. The voice drove me up the wall, the outfit was awful, he's perpetually afraid of things. There's a whole sequence where the implication is that Barry, for however long he's been doing this, has never saved a human life before, because he doesn't understand what that feels like and how that could mean, you know, you should keep doing more of it because it's a good thing. And in terms of, like, watching Flash stuff over the years, there's certain, like, motifs or visual gags about the Flash that, you know, kind of mean different things. And so the use of the lightning and the static electricity that he generates and everything, it's usually done pretty well. You know, in the cartoon it was done well. Back in the old 90s show, they had enough effects for the streaking and the slow motion and everything, and we were happy for it. On the new show, it's just great. It's just always crackling and just has all this energy. With this, the blue doesn't work because it's just another example of Zack Snyder desaturating the color like an asshole. And the Sparks, honest to God, looks like he's littering all the time. He's like perpetually doing stuff, and then it's like blah, blah, blah. And that is all before you get into Ezra Miller's actual running form, and you know that he one did no research as to how people run, let alone has run in his life, because he looks like he's swimming vertically. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal of him. I don't get the appeal of him as the Flash. I don't understand why his outfit was held together by baling twine. I don't understand why he had fingerless gloves. Like, if you're going to be hitting things at super speed and you're not superhumanly strong, you're probably going to want to cover your fingers. Let alone if you are, or by the end of the movie become, a forensic scientist. Guess what you're leaving everywhere? I could go on for another couple hours about how I didn't like Ezra Miller as the Flash or the approach to the Flash, but we've got to get back to the main video. But come see me. I live in Baltimore. I have a lot of Flash toys. I can explain every single thing they did wrong with the Flash in the Justice League movie. You don't even have to buy me a beer. And this is where we start. This is the best movie on there, which is to say that it is a competently filmed movie. It does tell a story. It's a very boring story, but it does do it in a way that you can follow, as long as you just go with, okay, because comic books is why we're doing this. And yeah. Whereas The Bye-Bye Man, I have watched The Bye-Bye Man 3 times now. Ask me what The Bye-Bye Man's about. Ask me. I don't know. There's this dude. He's haunting a nightstand. He drops coins out of the nightstand to get you to look in the nightstand, where you'll see writing saying, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it. But the thing you're not supposed to think or say is the name, The Bye-Bye Man. And once you know him, know the phrase, The Bye-Bye Man, not know who he is or what he did, but just know that phrase, The Bye-Bye Man, which I keep saying over and over again, you will be infected. It's like the worst, earworm type of a song until he drives you nuts. I think that's the point. For some reason, there's something to do with trains. There's something to do with coins. There's a dog made of roast beef. There's the Bye-Bye Man himself, who appears to be wearing Old Navy or an Abercrombie sweatshirt or long sleeve T-shirt. There's our main leads, who have no chemistry whatsoever, are bad actors, play an impromptu baseball game in the middle of the night after, a big kegger. There's the main guy's brother, who brings his wife and his 7-year-old daughter to the college kegger. And Carrie-Anne Moss just being wasted because Carrie-Anne Moss is wonderful. But what the biggest crime is? Faye Dunaway is in this movie. And I don't blame Faye, because work is work. Maybe she doesn't get as many offers as she used to, which is a shame because she still looks incredible. But people that made The Bye-Bye Man, you should have known better. Just because Faye Dunaway is available, you don't sully Faye Dunaway by having her be in your shit movie, which you knew it was a shit movie. There's no point to this movie. It doesn't make any sense. There's like nothing is scary. It goes from like incoherent scene to incoherent scene. Everybody is inconsiderate. Like after, like in the seance where everything goes to hell, like there's a psychic girl who is flipping her shit, begging you not to think it, not to say it. And the guy just up and goes, The Bye-Bye Man? And then he just keeps saying it and infecting other people. And then they're all screwed because The Bye-Bye Man and his dog and his coins and his trains. And what does it even mean? Why is Faye Dunaway living in a Hellraiser house? I need you people to watch it so you can explain it to me, because I don't understand what I'm looking at. But in its defense, it's only one story that you don't know what you're looking at, as opposed to Transformers 5, which, at my count, is something at 35 different movies all sandwiched together, or not sandwiched together, they're put in succession because the overall movie Transformers 5 is trying to outrun the audience's awareness of the fact that this movie's not about anything, and it's relentlessly annoying, and there are barely any Transformers in it. Optimus Prime left Earth to find his creators, and he finds them, and they're into kinky bondage shit. And he gets a new BDS sex name, Nemesis Prime. And in the meantime, on Earth,
everything has gone to hell. Transformers and humans hate each other even more. Apparently, the Earth is actually Unicron, and Cybertron is coming to destroy Unicron. If you've watched any of the Transformers movies, you know that at least 5 of the things that I just said contradict the plots of the first 4 movies. So, hooray. It starts off in what they label as the Dark Ages, but it's really the time of King Arthur. It has explosions, because woe is King Arthur without his giant explosions. It's just, this movie is a cacophonous mess of parts of movies you've seen and liked better. Like things that Michael Bay watched before making this movie: Stranger Things, The Abyss, Suicide Squad, Star Wars, maybe Titus Andronicus, lots of World War II movies. I mean, it just, everything contradicts everything else in terms of the series of films, but then everything starts contradicting the movie. Like, you'll watch the movie, and do me a favor, if you do, like, keep track of where the movie begins, and then by the time you get to the end, try to remember how it started and how you got there. And also keep track of how often the humans are being affected on screen by something that the Transformers are doing off screen, because we're not looking at the Transformers. I just everything about this was bad. But at the same time, it had Transformers. So I love it. I love every garbage minute of it. I love Cogman just running around. They call him a headmaster, but he never actually transforms into the head for anything, which is annoying, because like the toy is a car and he's a headmaster for the car, and it's like, it would have been just a really easy thing to do and it would have made all of us happy. But no, there were several points in the movie theater where I just turned to my friend Steph and said, I have no idea what I'm looking at, and I've been paying attention to the whole thing. But I love all the Transformers in it. They're like, you know, the brief moments that they're on there, they have a lot of personality. And like, they have a Wreck-Gar analog, and Hot Rod is in there, and he's French and a douche, which is just, you know, it's Rodimus. It's the movie Rodimus. Of course this is what he's going to look like. Unfortunately, no flames on his chest, because, you know, Michael Bay hates us. I thought my friend Steven had a good observation that it appeared to be Michael Bay trying to destroy the franchise, you know, to end it, because you see direct references to the previous films and they're all shat on and or literally destroyed. Like, you see the ship that Sentinel crashed into the moon, or crashed onto the moon in Dark of the Moon, and that's destroyed. You see what's left of the pyramids from Revenge of the Fallen, that's destroyed. The planet Earth would have been killed like a zillion times in this movie, because, you know, there's a different planet crashing into it. That different planet, as near as we could tell from the third movie, was destroyed. And yet Transformers. Cars that turn into robots. Robots that turn into cars. Megatron looked amazing in this movie, and he's voiced by Frank Welker with great aplomb. Like, the original Megatron voice is finally doing Megatron, so we finally get like big live action on screen, real Peter Cullen Optimus versus real Frank Welker Megatron, and it was beautiful. But at the same time, you have like this whole giant moment of Bumblebee getting his voice back, and if you can't recognize the voice actor doing Bumblebee, it's because it wasn't a voice actor. It was literally just one of the sound technicians laying in a temp track, and Michael Bay never got around to fixing it, or replacing it rather. And Marky Mark's in it, and that's great because he's always fun. But Tony Hopkins appears to be having the most fun of anybody. He's just like, he is thrilled to be doing a Transformers movie where he can do whatever the fuck he wants, because he's Anthony Hopkins and Michael Bay won't tell him no. And poor Josh Duhamel is still doing his Josh Duhamel thing. I don't know why he's not the star of these films at this point. He's been in 4 of them. And there's a blink and you'll miss moment with Tyrese, who, you know, played Gibson in the first 3 movies and was supposed to be in this movie a lot more, but he got cut for, you know, Isabel and her like prepubescent or post-pubescent breasts that Michael Bay really wants to put on display, because Michael Bay is a complete fucking creep. Ugh. And it just keeps going. It's 2.5 hours, guys. Or no, it was maybe 2 hours, 20 minutes. It feels like 5 hours. It's like I would pause it at random points, and just everybody would be horrified at how little of the movie has passed, yet how dense it's been throughout the whole thing. So I can't recommend it highly enough. for purposes A through Z in terms of being a bad movie lover or a Transformers fan. This thing is just the pinnacle of terrible. And definitely the worst movie of 2017. I was wrong to think it could have been the Bye Bye Man. It just, the difference is Bye Bye Man didn't have the epic scale that Transformers did. It is just the most expensive worst movie I've seen since, Superman Returns? I think that was like 300 plus million. That thing was just a pile of garbage. But it gave us Brandon Routh, which is nice. But no, Transformers 5. Gave us a few good toys. I'll grant you that. I do like the toys. I'm a big fan of the toys. I don't know if you knew that about me. But that was the worst movie. Bye Bye Man, second worst. Justice League movie is mainly just, I hold it in as much disdain as the other two movies, mainly because of the content and just the personal effect of it. But it is not, strictly speaking, a poorly made film in terms of craft, but it's definitely uninteresting. And if you like Batman just really at home with guns all the time, you're gonna love this movie. So hooray. Yeah, I'll see you in 2 weeks. This was rough. This one was bad. This was like, I actually did this party in real life, and people were just alternatingly horrified, confused, but simultaneously annoyed and angry at me the entire time. So it was a great success as a party for me. So hopefully you guys will have your bad movie parties, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.